we're gone. Hello, good morning, everybody. I'm Tom Bassel, and I'm not paying attention.
I'm Z Garcia. I was paying attention. Hello.
And I'm the podfather of gaming, Stephen Bonacore, and I'm dead tired, so hey.
Well, it's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks here, folks, since we're here last, and it's going to be 2 weeks till we're here again. Just mostly because last week was Dice Tower Cruise. Next week is Dice Tower West, and hopefully several of you will see next week in person. But if not, here, good news. Dice Tower East registration is still open, and Dice Tower Retreat registration will be opening up in March. So keep an eye out for both of those things. I don't want to belabor those points, but folks, it's going to be a good year of playing games. We have so much news to talk about. We have a pretty decent game show.
You don't know that.
I didn't write it. Who are you mocking, him or you?
I wouldn't oversell it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. We got a 6 out of 10 game show. So,
Maybe.
no.
Did it make your top 100 games?
My top 10 game shows hosts, Z Garcia is number 1. Bob Barker, number 2.
Wow. Oh, that's
in your face, Barker. I love
Alex
it.
Trebek, 3. I don't know who number 4 is, but Pat Sajak's not in the top 10. I like Trebek better. All right. I don't know why we got off into this. We're going to get started with some contributors, and we'll be back with said game show.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, we are Ryan and Bethany.
From Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
All right, today we are talking about Viticulture from Stonemaier Games. This is a worker placement game where you are trying to make various wines. All right, so first you're going to plant vines. Then you are going to harvest the grapes from those wines. You're going to turn them into wines. Vines and wines are just like over and over again in my head. It's crazy. And then you're going to turn those wines, you're going to try to sell them on the market for points as well as some income. So this game kind of has kind of a progression to it. You go through the course of a year on these vineyards. Yeah. And you also have some kind of buildings you have to build to kind of make things more efficient for you. You can get some points that way as well. This is a fantastic worker placement game.
I know it's been a while, but Ryan and I like to talk about things we're trying to do to achieve better health in our life. And so since we were talking about viticulture, I just wanted to talk about
beverages.
So I figured out a couple of years ago that it's not actually pop that I like, it's the carbonation that I liked. And so I've been able to almost eliminate pop from my diet by drinking LaCroix or LaCroix-like beverages because I just wanted the
fizzy.
I wanted the fizzy, not the pop. I think it saved a lot of junk from going into my system that way. So I would just encourage you that maybe you're not a huge pop person, maybe you're a fizzy person. That's not the case for everybody. My brother hates all the fizzy pop, and he keeps trying, and he keeps giving me all his leftovers, so it's great.
All right, this is a worker placement game, and every turn you have meaningful decisions to make. You're putting your people on the board. You are trying to get the most out of them. It's kind of a race to get to the special spots that give bonus actions as well. But no matter what, you're never left in the dust. You're never left without an action to do on your turn, which I loved.
Yeah, I felt like it was pretty tight, but I felt like I still always had opportunity to plan ahead. So it was never like I just couldn't do anything. So that was a great strength to the game.
I love this one. It's one of my quickly becoming my favorite worker placement games.
Well, if you want to hear more from us, you can find us on Facebook or YouTube. We are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. Everybody, this is Ryan and Bethany. Hoping you have a happy, healthy breakfast.
Bye everybody.
Guys.
This is a segment where we take a look at a board game and I tell you if the IP and the mechanisms fit together. Today we're looking at Donkey Kong, the card game. Each player starts at the bottom of the girder. On your turn, you can play a card, and then you can roll the dice and move that number of spaces. You always start on one of the white spaces down here. So, for example, I started here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ladders cannot be placed adjacent to each other or connecting to each other. It must be a girder. Once you get 3 girders high, then you are eligible to reach Donkey Kong. And if you can reach Donkey Kong first, you are the winner. Now, there are obstacles that can be placed in your way. So let's say somebody played a barrel. You can always place a jump man to jump over it. If somebody played a ladder with a fireball, you can use your handy-dandy mallet to knock it out of the way. So what most of the game is rushing your way up and playing cards to impede the travel of the other players so you can be the first one to reach Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong the card game plays almost exactly like the arcade machine. you're moving Mario up or Jumpman at the time, and you're moving up the girder system with the ladders to try to get to Donkey Kong. Now, how you play the cards down and the fact that there's 4 Marios is not exactly like the game, but they wanted to make it multiplayer, so I'm willing to let that go a little bit. And you yourself are playing Mario on your turn, but on the other player's turns, perhaps you are playing the arcade machine where you're playing cards down and hoping to kind of stop the progress of the other Mario. So at that point, you're kind of more playing like your Donkey Kong. So I think that kind of works with it. Not a great fit with the IP and the mechanisms, but it does have that 3D look of where you're progressing up to get to Donkey Kong. So this is actually a pretty fun little kids game if you look at it in that aspect, that this is for children. They actually really, really like this one, and kids today still know who Donkey Kong is, so it's a win, win, win.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to 1, 2, 3. It's very easy, folks. These two are going to be going back and forth guessing my entries here. And for every correct guess, they get a point. If they are wrong, they won't get a point for that, of course. But on their very next guess, every correct guess is worth 2. Similarly, when they mess that up, inevitably, when they come back in, every guess will be worth 3 points. Mess up again, you're done. Unless I'm feeling forgiving and I give you one more guess, win or lose, at 4 points. That's an optional rule. Up to my discretion. If you're really sucking.
Yes, sir.
All right.
It's when it's called the Bonacore rule, when you suck so bad at something that you give him the pity points, which he doesn't get anyway.
That is correct, yes. I have over here 2 tiles I happen to be holding for my game that happens to be in front of me. This one has a 1 on it right there.
Bonacore's
This one is something else. We're going to randomize who starts.
Who's who?
Here we go. See if I can hide these well enough in my tiny hands. Can I do it?
I don't say anything.
Okay, there we go. Bonacore, pick a hand. This is my right hand.
But which one am I? Am I the one?
Pick one. The one is the starting player, fool.
The right hand.
This is the right hand.
Yes. Yes.
You're so wrong.
I was thinking start out wrong. It's good.
There we go. Tom, you are the start player. Here's the category, folks. I haven't told you that yet. I told these two, but I haven't told you that yet. I went to Board Game Geek. I clicked on Advanced Search. And then I went to Subdomain Party Games. And I ranked those by the BGG rank. I have here in front of me the top 25 party games according to Board Game Geek. Let me say that again for effect. Right?
It's very tricky.
To BoardGameGeek.com. So the top 25 party games are right here in front of me. Tom, you are first up at the buzzer. Hit me with your best shot.
All right. I think that this is a wide description on Board Game Geek sometimes. But I think it can envelope a lot of things. So I'm going to start off with a very popular party game for many people, The Castles of Burgundy.
He's going, this is the Vassal Gambit, I call it.
The Vassal Gambit is what we're going with. Let me check my list. It's not on there.
It sucks.
All right, Tom.
Can you check again?
I will check again. Still not on there.
All right.
All right, Tom. Every one of your correct guesses from now on will be worth 2 points. Good luck to you. Mr. Bonacore, would you like to start chipping away at the list so he has fewer things to bank on?
Which is the Bonacore counter to the Vassal Gambit, so that I get a few points that he can't get, but he's going to get so many points anyway. Oh, all right. I'll just start chipping, I guess. I'll just go with Code Names. Come on. Number 1.
Code Names is the number 2 answer. Code Names. Bonacore, you have 1 point.
I thought Code Names was the number. I thought Code Names was the number 1 answer anyway. So I'll say just 1.
Just 1 is the number 3 answer.
Woo.
You have 2 points.
I said he's just gonna rack.
He's backed off of the gambit, so maybe you want to now step your game.
I'm going to say. Quick question here: before this game, was I allowed to go look at my library of games?
No. Why would you be allowed?
Certainly not.
Who would have done? Who would do something like that? I don't understand what you're talking about. I went to the bathroom between the segments, guys. I drink a lot of coffee in the morning. I passed my library games on the way to the bathroom, but I didn't look at it.
I was just asking some clarifying questions. That's all.
So I'm gonna go with the very, very popular party game, Terraforming Mars.
Terraforming Mars. Now you're saying Terraforming Mars, the original, or Terraforming Mars, the party game?
Oh, the original, I think, is the
The original is not on the list. Very well, you are
I'm
now
surprised. It's
26. 2 points for each of your entries.
It's
just outside. Yeah, that's what it is. It was just outside the top 25. Yeah.
My next guess, I don't know if it is considered a party game by Board Game Geek. I think it is, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to say Sheriff of Nottingham.
Sheriff of Nottingham.
That's a good guess, actually, on the deep list.
It's the number 19 entry.
Woo! That's too low, folks.
That's a good one, Tom.
2 points. Tom, you are up to 4. Tom, Bonacor has 1.
All right. Bless.
Oh, boy.
You.
That's getting exciting now.
So I'm going to go with one that's really, really, really up there. Good one. It's Time's Up, baby. Time's Up for you.
I need you to be more specific, please.
Time's Up Title Recall.
Time's Up Title Recall is number 21 on the list.
Wow.
You are getting 2 points. You are up to 3 to Tom Vassal's 4 points.
This is not good.
Back to you, Tom. He's debating on the gambit now. I see it in his eye.
That's not what I'm debating. I'm debating on what just
debating
happened
some
there.
things. You're debating things. I know you had a
guess I'll say
conversation with
Time's
yourself
Up,
before you
the
put that tie
original.
on
There
this
is
morning.
there's no, unless it's called People, Time's Up People, but it just would be called Time's Up.
I think the game is just called Time's Up, and Z was being very nice to me. That's my opinion. But since you're taking Time's Up now, please give it to him.
He might not be. I don't know what he's doing.
Tom, is that your answer?
Yeah, no, that's my answer, Z. It's Time's Up or Time's Up People, but I mean, it's called Time's Up.
Yeah, it's called Time's Up. The original.
Time's Up is not on the list, Tom.
Yes! Well, maybe that's bad. Now he's got 3 points each.
Well, yeah, but I'm going to get them wrong, probably.
All right.
You are
Interesting.
3 points per entry.
All
I don't
right,
think
now.
that matters.
All right.
Bonacor, back to you.
Oh, do I do it
You're
or
still
not?
at 2 points per entry. You are now at 3 points. Tom has 4.
Do I make a wrong answer? All right, now I'm gonna chip a little more, I guess. This is so hard. We're gonna go Wits and Wagers.
Wits and Wagers is not on the list.
That's crazy. Not the top 25 games.
You are now both at 3 points,
Well-
and I am going to declare that the one guess at 4 points rule is in effect. You
yeah,
guys
I don't know, actually. I'm not phoning on it. I'm going to say Decrypto.
Decrypto is the number 1 entry.
Wow.
I would
it's
not.
higher than Codenames in just one. Interesting.
It is higher by about 6 places or so on BGG. I have it on here in front of me.
I think that's a
Codenames
numerical thing. I think fewer people play it.
That could be. Yeah, I know it is. The number of voters is ridiculous. Codenames is 104. Decrypto ranking. Decrypto is exactly 100. So but
that means there's
also,
only one party game in the top 100 of BGG, which is actually a shame.
It really is. I love party games.
But yeah, Decrypto has about 15,000 people who have ranked it, rated it. 15,000, and Codenames has about 75,000. But I know obviously it has sold millions of copies, I believe, or at least 1 million by now.
Right.
Okay. That was you, Tom. You're at 7 points. Bonacor, you have 3. Don't mess this up again. It's back to you.
I'm gonna go with a newish game, but phenomenal party game. So Clover.
So Clover.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
It's not on the list. Which means you have one guess left at 4 points.
And I literally have one guess. It's like not like
You have
more.
one guess, and whether you get it right or wrong,
All
that's
right.
your final guess. Tom,
See, I'm gonna
back
say,
to you.
wow, there's party games. I don't know. I'm gonna go. I don't know. I don't know if this is a party game or not, so I'll say it. The Resistance.
I need you to be more specific, please.
The Resistance Avalon.
Bummer.
The Resistance Avalon is number 4.
Wow.
That was the highest one you guys were missing. So Tom, 1, 2, 3 points for you, brings you up to 10 points. So Bonacor, I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but even if you get 4 points, that brings you up to 7. You lessen the shame, but not the loss. What would you like?
To save face a little bit. I'm going with my favorite party games, really, in this list here. So I'm going with Telestrations.
Telestrations is number 10 on the
There
list.
we go. All right. Oh.
And that means 1, 2, 3, 4. Bonacor, you have 7 points to Tom's 10 points. Would you fellas like to hear the list?
Wait, don't I get to keep going until I mess up?
You want to keep going? You really want to shame him? Please continue.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump to let's do a One Night Ultimate Werewolf.
One Night Ultimate Werewolf is 22.
All right. Balderdash.
You are 13 points.
Boulder Dash I had on my list of my head.
Balderdash is not on the list, so there you go.
All right.
Boulder Dash is so good.
So 13 to 7 is how that ended up. Here's the list, guys. Starting from 25, working our way back up. 25 is Coup. 24, Love Letter. 23.
But there's a ridiculous category to call that a party game. I mean, that is the dumbest. Sorry, Board Game Geek. That is dumb.
You think number 24 Love Letter is ridiculous?
No. Love Letter,
that's
excellent
ridiculous?
Game.
Wait till you hear my number 23.
Go ahead.
Because you see, 23 is Love Letter Premium.
Which does go to 8 players, actually.
Whoa, 8 players. Oh.
Okay, after that, we've got One Night Ultimate Werewolf, which you said. Time's Up Title Recall, which you said. Number 20 is Junk Art. You said 19, Sheriff. 18 is Pitch Car. 17.
Great going here.
Wavelength at 17.
Yes. I should have got that.
16, Skull, as in Skull and Roses, that game.
Okay.
15, Code Names Pictures.
All the other code names. Yeah, Duet's going to be up there
one.
too. No, Duet? I think Duet will be up there.
Duet is not in it, no.
Okay,
no.
But that certainly shouldn't be a party game, I guess. Too freaking
Party for 2.
Yeah, it's kind of a party game. It's like a word game, right? So after that, we've got Monikers.
Really? Wow.
I don't know
Dixit.
it. Dixit. I couldn't remember it. I had it here. I couldn't remember the name.
This one's a bit of a weird one. Camel Up 2nd edition is in it.
I consider that a party game.
No, it's not a party game. It's just not. No, it's an 8-player game, but that doesn't make it a party game. No. I refuse. I disbelieve this illusion.
Huh. Clask. We have Dixit Odyssey, which again.
Wow. That's just Dixit again, but yes.
Yeah. Let's see. This is number 7 here. Deception. Murder in Hong Kong.
Heard us mentioned on the Dice Tower a couple times.
Number 6 is Secret Hitler. Number 5, which was the highest one you guys have not yet guessed, is Captain Sonar.
Now that is a party game.
So Cards Against Humanity did not make the list.
It is not on the list. No.
Not highly ranked to the credit
Neither
of the
did
geeks.
Apples to Apples. I had that on my short list.
No.
Not on the list. Yeah, you guys got the top 4: Decrypto, Code Names, Just One, and the Resistance Avalon.
I still don't understand why the Resistance Avalon is so much more highly rated than the Resistance. They're almost the same game.
They really are. But it and it also outsells. I know that it outsells the Resistance substantially. But together they are a big selling units of games. And that's it.
There you go. So, guys, this history repeats itself. You got trounced, Bonacore, by Tom. Next time I do this, I would like you to pick a realm. Pick a realm of data, and I will pick something from within it. How about that?
Most highly ranked beers, something like that? That'd be okay?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I didn't want to be stereotypical, but that's exactly what I was thinking you would do. So good job for not letting me down. Anyway, folks,
I might score 0
that's going to do it for this one. Thank you very much. Let's check out some contributors. Here we go.
I wouldn't do that to you, Tom.
Hello Proti here, your Romanian content creator, and today I will continue my series where I will talk about a specific part of a game, and today we will talk about Keyflower. Keyflower is a tile-laying game, so to say, where you build up your village. You have to connect it correctly, and then you can activate by placing meeples your different tiles and do different actions. You can upgrade them to be more powerful, to give you points at the end of the game. But how do you get those tiles? With an auctioning mechanic. The auctioning mechanic is by auctioning off with meeples. For example, I want this tile, I place 1 red meeple. Then another player can put 2 meeples, but they have to be red. So if an auction started with a specific color, you have to keep that color. So nobody has a specific color in this game. Everybody has a random amount of meeples, and then during the game they choose ships and so on and get a specific number of meeples that they can use either for making actions or activating tiles or for auctioning off. So this is interesting, and everything that you use in your village you get back as meeples. What you can use the village of your opponent, they get those meeples. And you see the meeples are important because you will need them for auctioning off and for doing different things, for upgrading, for getting points. And an interesting thing is there are seasons, and in the winter season you will usually the things are coming random out for the different seasons, but in winter every player begins at the beginning of the game with some winter tiles, and in winter they choose which one they want to put for auctioning depending on what strategy they did. But they are the only one who knows these tiles until they put them out for auctioning. And the one that I like is this one where I get 3 points for every 5 meeples, doesn't matter the color. Why I like it? Because you can get different points by moving stuff around, maybe in the last turn, upgrading. So use all your meeples in your village. Don't auction off different stuff, just the tile that you need, because so that you remain with a lot of meeples because you use them all in your village to upgrade, get points in different other ways. And then you have the fallback solution where all the meeples that remain, you get 3 points for every 5 that you have. So that means in the last turn you can focus on your village to get points out of that. So this is interesting, and I find it a nice fallback solution as a winter tile, this one with the 5 meeples, 3 points. This is what I wanted to talk in Keyflower. Have a nice breakfast.
Hey, good morning. Jeff from Tabletop Toolbox here, continuing my look at my top 10 things and stuff from 2021. Can you tell that I'm having a lot of fun with these? Because I am. Anyways, I'm getting back to the games, and my number 5 is my biggest surprise of last year because this is Meadow by Rebel Studio. I have a neighbor using a leaf blower in January. Anyways, I first saw Meadow on a live playthrough event, and I'm thinking it was a Dice Tower Spectacular, but I could be wrong. The moment I saw it on the screen, though, I completely lost interest in it. I couldn't exactly tell you why, but if I had to wager a guess, it's because to me, a central board with just a grid of cards on it isn't really that interesting. But then I was at the Dice Tower retreat where I met 2 incredible people, Liz and Chappie Chapman. Now they were playing Meadow and invited me to join, and I thought, I have no interest in playing this game, but I've loved every minute playing with those people, so I'm in. And I had an incredible time. Meadow is arguably one of the most beautiful games to enter the market in recent years, beating out, in my humble opinion, the game of Parks. The rules are pretty straightforward. You'll use these action tokens, which kind of represent plant markers you may see at a nursery, to either take cards from the central board or use specialty actions at the campfire board. Placing one of these cards in your personal tableau requires having the right symbols already showing in your Meadow, and you'll have to cover one of those symbols with the new card. And that's literally almost it. This game is incredibly easy to teach, but still very thinky, especially if you're trying to maximize the points you gain each turn. And that's why I really enjoyed it. Not because it was day 3 of the retreat and this was literally the first game that I won. Now, some folks feel the game can run a bit long. I've never had any issues with that, but players can experience some AP when they're trying to figure out which card they really need, how many turns it may take to get it played, and the fastest, least risky way of getting there. But again, it was that tension that made me really enjoy the game, and that's why it's number 5 on my list. I've got 4 more of these to go, and I'm really looking forward to sharing them with you. I'll see you soon. Cheers.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Dave Luza.
And my name is Bo Luza.
And today we are showing you a game from a Swiss company called...
Helvetic.
Yes, Helvetic. Last year they came out with this small Rainer Knizia card game called Art Robbery, which was a lot of fun. But also they had 3 different roll and writes called Dice Trip. This is the Germany one.
And Bandido and Bandita.
Bandido and Bandita, yes. But the game that we are talking about today is called...
K3, Plan Your Climb.
Yes. And K3, of course, is a mountain, a very dangerous mountain. Yes. And we are actually trying to climb it. It uses wooden pieces that are huge, nice and clunky. This is a dice to compare it with, but the pieces are bigger. You start off with the base camp, and every player has their own small mountain. I've put mine flat and the base camp flat as well, so you can actually see what's going on. Bo's is straight up. And on your turn, what you do is...
You pick a free tile block and you put it on a tile that is the color of your block that you chose.
Yeah. And it only has to have one side has to have that color. If it actually has 2 of the same color underneath, if you have 2 reds and you put a red on top of it, the next player gets
a bonus.
Yes, a bonus. That is quite... interesting. There's a whole trick about how to build your own mountain, so it makes it a little bit trickier, and there's definitely a lot of strategy in this game. Do you like it?
Yeah, I really like it. It's really fun and I always win.
Yes, but how do you win?
I don't know.
Well, the goal of the game is not to put all your pieces on the other mountain. The goal of the game is to survive, yeah. Have all the other players not make it, because if there's no bases to put your next, if I have a red one and there's no red one available, then I lose the game. So it's about strategically blocking the other colors off. To help, there are some wilds in your own pyramid, and there's a white one. What does it do?
You can skip a turn.
Yeah, because I can't place, but yes. If the other player goes first, then... So, yeah, a lot of strategy and abstractness in K3, Plan Your Climb. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up. My name is Dave Luza.
My name is Bo Luza.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Lots and lots of games in the news today, folks. So let's get started with a really great cover here. Stone Saga. This is coming from Out of My Mind Games, which is also a cool name for a company. A cooperative survival game. It's coming out in May of next year, so don't get too excited about it, I suppose. But right. Man, do I love that cover. Although that guy standing on the mountain with the flag at the bottom,
yeah,
I feel like I've seen that in a game before.
I think I've seen it in every fantasy trope.
In Ryan Lockett's games or something.
Yes. That looks like the cover of maybe Near and Far.
Maybe.
One of those, either Near or Far or Now or Never, has a little person in the foreground standing there holding a staff or something like that. And the little doggy next to them, I think that's Near and Far.
That's Near and Far, although they're facing a slightly different direction.
I'm trying to figure out the perspective here. I guess that is a giant's skeleton rising out of the snow.
I hope so, because that's cool.
It is beautiful.
That is a really cool little string.
Actually, see, it has to be because there's trees on the skull.
Those might not be trees. It might just be very pointy moss.
Those are absolutely trees on that skull.
Anyway, designers Max really Brook and Luke Eddy. I don't know. I'm really looking forward to this one.
I'd like to.
It's interesting. It says. Go ahead.
I'd like to understand what they mean by a persistent world. That almost sounds like legacy, like things are going to change in the world. Interesting. The idea and the art really turn me on.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing about the persistent world thing. It's just interesting that they're doing that. That's going to be an aspect of the game. Looking forward to this one.
All right, we have a bunch of games continuing. Now we go to Zoc. This is a kids game. I do not know the English translation of that.
Istaver.
But you're hiding some discs there in these grooves and trying to, I guess you're trying to figure out which animals there. You grab the animals that you think are on the bottom. Looks like you drop a bunch of stuff in and try to figure out what's on the very bottom. I like that concept.
Okay. And you get slivers in the cardboard to peek through, it looks like.
Yeah. Then we have...
Cute.
Sorry. Then we have
they always do bizarre stuff like this is what I was going to say. That this is like such a weird idea. All right.
Then there's another man standing with a dog in the border. It's a day for standing and looking at the horizon. This is from Michael Kiesling and Reinhard Stopp. That's a pretty solid pair of designers. So this is a roll and write, but with these two designers on board, that brings some really strong prestige, at least.
Yeah, and I like NSV. I like the stuff they make. They're a little publisher. They do mostly little card games, but they're the people behind some great roll and writes.
The next game is called Turing Machine. Now, I actually have played a early version of this, I believe, well, last year, actually. So, and I think you did too, Z.
Oh, gosh. Now I'm recalling. I think I played or watched you play it. I cannot recall, Tom.
I can recall Z played it. He did not like it as much as me. He thought it was a little fiddly, and which is true. But you have these cards with these holes punched in them, and there's one solution, but you can rearrange the cards in different ways to try to figure that solution out. It's very, 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 I mean, it is very strong logic oriented. You just weren't as big of a fan because you thought it was a lot of fiddliness going on. I don't know if that's been knocked out, but it looks cool, and I enjoyed it.
Looks cool. Going to be heavy deductions. You can just tell by this. So if you like that, I think this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I didn't think this was light at all when I played it. The next game is obvious. Is a party game that might make the top 25. This is from Gigamic. It's a cooperative game, and you're trying to read everyone else's minds, which has never been done before. So
you know
you're
what
picking...
that looks like? That picture there, I don't know if you remember a game called Yes with like 4 or 5 S's.
Do not.
The little party game with my matching pictures and trying to figure out like from clues which two go together, that kind of thing. It gives me that vibe, but I'm loving these illustrations.
The way they described the game, it almost sounded like that game with those weird cut cards where you're trying to get people to guess one.
One key?
Yeah, one key. It sounded a little like that.
This is, I'm into this.
More party games. This one's from Funny Fox. We're just jumping all over the place. Secret Identity. This is for 3 to 8 players, and you are one of the 8 characters on the table, and you're trying to give clues for your character while guessing other people's character.
So you want people to guess your character or not?
I think so. And I think, though, that it looks like the clues are going to be kind of obscure clues. So it's going to be a little bit like So Clover, right? And
right.
Where you're giving these clues out, and then I'm like, oh, I'm bushy. Okay, maybe is he talking about a beard? You know what I mean? Whatever the clue might be. I'm hoping that's what it's like, because that sounds fun.
All the clues seem to be little illustrations, like just line art. I'm assuming that comes from a deck of cards that's already been drawn, and you just...
Oh, I see. Yeah, right. So it looks like you put them on a yes or a no slot.
Right.
So if there's a snake, and they put it on no, then that would make me think your person is someone considered good.
Not not snake like. So are they gonna? These will be iconic characters. It said. So I guess like real people, historic people.
I can't see the picture to see what any of those names are.
It says Pikachu. I can see it. Pikachu, Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, I'll make it bigger. I can see
Michael
it.
Jackson.
Michael Jackson. There we go. Okay, fictional or real people. Spock.
Okay. There you go.
I'm kind of pumped about this one. This one sounds fun.
I'm in.
All right. The next game is called Team. That's a funny name. There's another communication party game. The designers are from Korea. And there's a bunch of tiles, and you reveal a sound card. And then the number of times you say the sound is different tiles. Wow, that sounds confusing. This sounds like that one where you get hit on the head with the caveman club.
It is sort of bong, bong, bong. You do one if you have to touch a different tile. Bong, bong. If the builder should switch the tile.
Wow. Okay.
So,
well.
Very.
This is a wait and see. This is a wait and see. We've already seen 3 pretty cool sounding party games, and then this one is I don't know. This is an I don't know for me.
I don't know.
All right, Lucky Duck has moved into the realm of licensing games. I mean, they did already have video games like Fruit Ninja and stuff, but now they got Sherlock, the very popular BBC version of Sherlock Holmes, and it's a series of games based on this. The first is called Case Connection, competitive puzzle game of investigation and deduction. I'm curious, will it use an app? They did not say.
What do you think?
I think if it didn't have the Lucky Duck icon in the corner, I'd pass it off in a second.
Well, this is going to be another one of those. Not escape room is the wrong, but another one of those things. Solve the puzzle. Placing the Sherlock, which is the phenomenal TV series IP on it. I wonder if it strengthens the game or not. You're just going to be going to a location apparently and trying to reconstruct the theory of the crime. That's sort of what we get from the very short description here. I love Sherlock.
This is going to be a Chronicles of Crime spinoff, though, Tom. I think this is happening.
But it says competitive.
Yeah.
Competitive.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're independent of Sherlock. And
it's also really cheap. It's $25.
It's really, really cheap. And an IP game. Very
that's why I'm thinking.
They're trying to get it into mass market for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. But
that's partly why I think this might be an app game, because the components in those games are very slim. There's not a lot of stuff in there.
Well, speaking of mass market, we got some games from Funko. So I'm not sure that these are going to thrill many of our listeners, but maybe for your kids, we have the Happiest Day game, which Disney tries to get you to believe going to Disney is the happiest day of your life until you look at the credit card bill. This looks very mass market. This is one I'm going to probably end up playing it, but it comes with a spinner, so I'm suspicious.
Well, it comes with a sleeve also. The box comes with a sleeve that says on the outside happiest day ever, but when you take off the sleeve, it says priciest day ever. I would love for that to be true. That would be great.
All right, then we got Big Thunder Mountain, which is probably my favorite ride at Disney World.
Excellent, gentle roller coaster.
And this is, I don't know. You were trying to make a fortune by mining a mountain while avoiding its mysterious dangers. It has a mine tray, 3D mountain. Again, Funkoverse is, for me, with these kind of games, they're about 60% when I enjoy them. They kind of nail it sometimes, and sometimes, we'll see.
Sure.
Then we got a Goofy movie game.
Talk about, this is a throwback, man.
Is that like evil? Is that like evil Goofy over there? What is that?
Oh, it's
the middle guy.
What's his name? He's like a musician. He's like a Michael Jackson spinoff. Okay. Like riff on a Michael Jackson type character.
I've never seen a very Goofy movie, so I don't know.
The kid Max is into this guy as a performer. So a Goofy movie was awesome. I really like this movie.
Oh, really?
I haven't seen it in a decade at least, but I really like it.
I do not know it.
It's probably on Disney Plus. I'll have to go look it up.
Yes, it is.
The next one is Disney Return of the Headless Horseman game. It's a cooperative game. This one's 15 minutes. I wonder if this is similar to the Mickey coming out of the Beanstalk game or the versus the Giant type thing. I don't know. This one looks like it's a very simple game. It says 6+ for ages. Although, that seems like an odd theme. Hey, Johnny, we're going to play Return of the Headless Horseman.
Yeah, it's a
when
little,
I was a kid, this was a scary cartoon.
It's a little dark. Absolutely. Even though it is a fairy tale, but they're very dark, those things.
All right, now we're sticking with Disney, but moving to a different company, the Op. We have Disney Sorcerer's Arena. So this is, it's called Disney Sorcerer's Arena Epic Alliances. It's based on a mobile game that I don't know a lot about, except I get when I play those games that have ads in them, this shows up all the time. It's a bunch of characters fighting each other in a virtual arena. That sounds interesting. I like the concept of it.
Is it supposed to be like an unmatched kind of thing with two characters fighting or several characters fighting?
I don't know. I think I've only seen the ads for the game, but you have these different characters lined up and they do different attacks on each other, at least according to the ads. So maybe it's the same thing here. Like 4-on-4 was, I'm guessing. I don't know.
Yeah. Now you said mobile or MOBA?
Mobile.
Okay.
I don't think there is a Disney MOBA game.
Yeah, okay.
All right, back to Funko. Funkoverse has been a little quiet lately, but they have some new stuff coming out. One is Disney with Peter Pan and Captain Hook. And the other, which looks kind of cool because it looks like the box is in black and white, the Universal Monsters.
That's awesome. I really like the way that looks. They went with black and white for everything. The monsters are in grayscale, and the box is in grayscale. That is so neat.
It is pretty cool. I'm curious how they picked the monsters. I mean, Dracula, then they picked Bride of Frankenstein over Frankenstein, and then the Creature from the Black Lagoon and Invisible Man. So maybe they'll have another set with some of the other ones come later. Like there's no, what are they missing? Werewolf?
Frankenstein's monster.
Who's below Creature from Black Lagoon?
Dracula.
Who's to the left?
Invisible Man.
The Invisible Man. He's wrapped up in bandages.
No, isn't Dracula on the stairs, the top of the stairs? But then he's again down there.
Well, that's a picture, but he's still.
Oh, okay. Oh, I can't see that it's. God, sorry. I can't see that it's actually the figures inside the box. Got it. Sorry about that.
Come on.
The next one,
don't you know anything about displaying games on shelves?
I've never understood the whole publishing concept.
The next one I'm a little excited about. The Wizard of Oz adventure book game. So this is it's a second game in a line. The first one was the Princess Bride adventure book game, which was pretty fun. It's a cooperative game where you play through different scenes of the movie, and there's different. Each page you turn is the board of the game, and then it has the same basic idea, but there's different rules of how the game plays. So like in a Princess Bride, one of the scenes is you're climbing up the cliff before the man in black can catch you. Or there might be, storming the castle at the end. The same thing here. So I like that idea a lot. I also like the cover.
That's cool. Yeah.
In news that really surprised me here, a new expansion for Sidereal Confluence. And if you can't pronounce Sidereal, well, have fun with bifurcation.
Bifurcation is a very common business term. I'm sorry, Thomas, you don't know it. No, it's an odd word.
So it means division in two parts. So this is going to have 9 alternate factions. So in the original game, there's 9 factions. I think it's 9. It's 7 through 9. I don't remember what the number is exactly. But they're all very different, very asymmetrical. I can't imagine having more. This is like, I never thought, Sidereal Confluence, not enough stuff in the box. But this game has its extreme fans for sure.
I'm really looking forward to playing Sidereal Confluence. I recently acquired it. And I hear it's really just a great negotiation game. So I'm really into trying this. So more content sounds good. I love this cover, by the way. It's wild.
Well, speaking of good covers, The Good Doctor, it's time for our weekly Reiner Knizia segment. Has a new game, San Francisco, which from Rebel, I really do like this cover, though. It's a neat perspective of San Francisco. I don't really care what the game is about, blah, blah, blah. You are rebuilding San Francisco.
It's a cool looking cover. It looks like the bridge in the background, barely visible there.
Well, that's what I was saying to Mike when he was showing me the news, that there's two things I know about San Francisco. It has a bridge and it has steep hills with trolley cars. So they got them both in his picture.
Got it all. And it's got Chinatown. There you go. That's San Fran in a close-up.
Also from Reiner Knizia, from 25th Century, and another cool cover, Longboard. This is about building longboards to go surfing. I
like this this one. I mean, I like 25th Century quite a bit. The other one was from Rebel, which is also very good. 25th Century has been on a bit of a roll for me, but I just like this theme. There's not a lot of games that have this theme. The only other one I can think of off the top of my head is that surfing game from Alan Moon from a decade at least ago, that didn't do so well. So yeah, it's probably going to be a pretty abstracted game. It is from Dr. Reiner Knizia, but I like this cover. I like this vibe more than, hey, here's another city's name. Do something in it, it probably could have been anywhere, but this is neat.
Well, speaking of neat, I am super excited for Gloomhaven Digital, which is one of the coolest implementations of a board game I've ever seen. Jaws of the Lion downloadable content coming for it.
More money. I will be spending more money.
I'll buy this. I'll buy this the day it comes out. Because Jaws of the Lion is fantastic. The characters are fantastic. And the Gloomhaven Digital is so good, I will probably never play Gloomhaven, the board game, again.
It's so sad that you say that.
Well,
is this a video game more than a board game? Like, will this teach me how to play Jaws of the Lion?
Yes.
It's literally the game. What the Gloomhaven Digital is literally Gloomhaven. There's no differences.
It's 100% Gloomhaven, and it gives you the fun graphical representation of your characters. And,
even more so, it does what I like about these kind of video games, where it doesn't allow you to break a rule. So you're playing things right. And there's like some fiddly things about Gloomhaven, like keeping track of elements. You don't have to do that because that does it for you.
We haven't seen that. I haven't seen that yet, but
it's actually been happening. It's just on the side of the board. It's happening. You're just not noticing it.
Are you serious? No.
Yes.
But no one's been. Have you been
My character does occasionally. I'm the mage, remember?
Well, you got to mention that you're using stuff. I would like to see it happening. Very interesting.
Oh, I was waiting for you to pick your cards.
You're giving it away.
All right. Investors are trying to split Wizards of the Coast from Hasbro. I don't understand his story at all. So, Mr. Bonacore.
Q Stephen Bonacore. Man of industry. So in business, occasionally there is a theory that the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. Is that the way I'm saying it? So a activist investor who owns only, but a large number, 2.5% of Hasbro stock, is trying to get the WotC division, right, WotC and Digital, split off from the main Hasbro, all the stuff that we know and don't like. The theory is that if you do so, those two companies will double the value of the whole company. So let's say Hasbro is now a $50 billion market capital. Splitting them up will create a two $50 billion companies, doubling the value for shareholders.
Z, we're splitting you off the dice tower.
My market value is about to go up, baby.
We're going to go from $100
now,
to
folks.
$200.
So we will go into this in more depth on Board Games Insider for those who really want to hear about like how this is possible and all. How the this investor, or it's a group. It's not like a single person. How this group is going to have enough power to force this to happen is or try to make it happen is the big thing. Certainly for you and I, if this happens, it's probably only a good thing, not from the money perspective, unless you own some Hasbro shares, but from the fact that then a hobby game company of huge magnitude will direct its own stuff. We already have the head of Hasbro now, as we reported on, I'm pretty sure here we did on Board Games Insider, the head of Hasbro was just promoted from being the head of WotC. That guy is now the head of Hasbro. So Hasbro hopefully is headed in a better direction anyway. But having WotC / the digital gaming separate could only help. I don't think that this is going to happen certainly anytime soon, but it'll be interesting if it does.
All right. And then I'm very excited because at the beginning of the year, I made my predictions for this year. And one of my predictions was that no major convention would be canceled. They immediately canceled New York Toy Fair, making my prediction false. However, they moved it to September, so I'm back on, baby. And even more importantly,
Nope.
It's in September in Dallas. It counts.
Nope. Doesn't count. A, no. B, Nuremberg got canceled. That's major.
Nah. Public's not allowed to go to that one. But anyway.
Public can't go to this either.
More importantly, the New York Toy Fair is permanently moving to September, which is actually a pretty big deal because it was one of the things that kicked the year off in gaming. And now it's in the middle of, well, everything else that happens that, we got all these other conventions going around. I'm curious how this will change the release of games, even though games are, I know you're going to say this, games are a very small part of this New York Toy Fair.
Hobby gaming is a very, very small part of the New York Toy Fair. Interesting that I think that they already have a Dallas Toy Fair at that time. So I think they're kind of saying, we're going to make that bigger for this year and then potentially permanently, well, then just leave it there in 2023 or have it in New York, but then get rid of the Dallas Toy Fair. That sounds like the idea. I don't know. For hobby gaming, this is not a huge thing. The thing is that people who do go to this, who do make deals with like mass retailers and things like that, are now going to be talking about games that they release the following year, right? So this happens so early in the year, usually in February, and that when we all talked about games that were releasing that year for the holiday season. Now you're going to have to talk a quarter, almost a half a year more, September versus February. You're going to have to talk about your releases for the following Christmas season. It's going to be very difficult to do that for publishers.
All righty. Well,
I wonder
folks,
if this kind of, Bonacor, what do you think? Do you think this kind of push will have an adjustment year where we'll see a dip in those kinds of releases you see at, for example, Target for 1 year, while the market skips a beat because this did as well, basically?
Now, you know why that probably won't be the case? Because anybody who's getting into these stores can get contact with Target separately. You'll have an agent that will get you into Target anyway. So no, I don't think it's going to have much impact, the whole movement and stuff, because this thing is really about, most of this is really about toys and pushing toys to various retailers, and even local smallish ones in New York. Small, like they may have 7 stores across New York City or a bunch of stores across Atlanta, and they go there to find out different games, different mass games and toys they can bring in for the holiday season.
Sure.
All right, folks. Well, that is the news. We got a few more segments for you.
Assalamu alaikum. For the next few weeks, I'll be covering some of the worksheets or notebooks that Gameschooler.com provides on their website freely as downloadable content for your board games. These are worksheets and notebooks which kids can use before and after playing the games to actually build up some of the educational elements that they can grasp from simple games. So if you have kids in your family, try to check them out at gameschooler.com and get these notebooks from there. Let's get on with it. Disney Villainous has asymmetrical characters, and what the worksheet is going to help you learn is that how these asymmetrical characters are going to work better by themselves and against different kind of opponents. These worksheets are meant to see how kids can learn in different ways. So the kids will actually get to see all the cards of the villains, the rules of the villains, and try to learn the game by themselves that, okay, what is the quickest way, for example, for a villain to win? And then they will get a quiz that they get to fill out. That what do you think is the quickest way? They will get MCQ-like questions, some fill in the blanks, and they will get to fill that out. And then you can see that this method let them teach about that particular villain in a good fashion or not. And that way you can see that what method works best for my kids to learn other things as well. So they are learning in a more entertaining way by learning about their favorite Disney characters, well, the villain characters. And then you can apply the same principles to other learning methods as well. Get it from gameschooler.com. Happy gaming.
Well, hi everybody, I'm Doug Jr.
And I'm Doug the Third.
And you're watching a Fellowship of Meeples with
Doug and Doug Gaming.
Well, today we're going to continue our series called Dirt Cheap Games. Games, that's right. And we have picked another dirt cheap game. This one is called Ender's Game. And this is a game that came from the store Ollie's. And it's a two-player game. And what happens in this game, you're playing in space. It is based off of the movie, which I have not seen.
We've never seen.
But you're playing against, there's Bonzo Madrid, there's
Ender Wiggin.
And they are playing in a weightless arena in space. So when their troopers or their main character moves, they float until they hit something, then they stop.
Yes.
They can fire, roll a number of dice depending on how close they are. And to win, you have to capture your opponent's 3 gates, which is where they enter at, or you have to hit their main character 4 times. They get hit points. They have 4 hit points.
Yeah.
You can shoot the troopers. They turn into frozen space icebergs, and then they become obstacles. They have stars and here they're obstacles.
Definitely made for the fans of the movie to enjoy. A nice little collector piece, but gameplay was less than superb.
I found that it has I feel like a strong potential for almost a stalemate where you can just chase each other around the board forever at one point. But maybe we're not very good at playing it. Maybe that's the problem. But anyway, again, this is Ender's Game. This is a inexpensive game, at least at Ollie's it was. And you may want to check it out. Maybe you like this thing. Maybe you like the movie. Let us know in the comments if you've seen the movie.
The box is pretty.
It is. It's all right. If you'd like to see our full playthrough, you can check out our YouTube channel at Doug and Doug Gaming. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on a Fellowship of Meeples.
All right, everybody, that's it for another Board Game Breakfast. Thanks for joining us once again. No Board Game Breakfast. In fact, no videos at all next week because we'll be at Dice Tower West. We hope to see many of you there, but if not, we'll be back the following week with plenty of videos, plenty of games to talk about. Thanks so much to everybody for joining us. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
And I'm Stephen Bonacore.
Have fun playing party games.
There it is.